We got onto another large public bus at the bus station, and we were heading from Banos into Tena. So Tena is to the east side of the country, going into the Amazon jungle. And we were really excited about this part of the trip. It was one of the reasons that we ended up booking this group tour. Little did we know that this bus ride was going to be different from our last bus ride. This footage that you see here is from the very beginning of the trip when we were just leaving Banos, and you can see the mountains as we're leaving the town. Once we started going through the mountains, it was one of the roughest bus rides I have ever been on in my entire life. Patrick was sick, I was sick, I ended up throwing up, and it was one of the most uncomfortable and miserable experiences of my life, and definitely this trip. By the time we got to Tena, I was a complete mess. I was shaking, I was sweating, and I just wanted to stop moving. For this portion of the trip that we were spending in the Amazon jungle, we were doing what was called a homestay. So we were actually staying on this property with a family that regularly hosts groups for G Adventures. And it was so interesting because the family does everything. They cook the meals and they run the lodging. It was a very modest accommodation. It was really just a cement brick building, cement floors, and a bed with a bug net. But after being on that bus for so many hours and getting so sick, that bed was the best thing I had seen in a really long time. So we rested for a little while, and then we went back out to explore the rainforest and start to actually enjoy the surroundings that we were in. Spending time this deep in the rainforest was such a dramatic change from being in the busy city of Quito with the old buildings and then being in the adventurous town of Banos. The jungle offered a different level of seclusion and being immersed in nature. But it was a different kind of nature. The plants and the greenery are so lush, and everything is just vibrant and alive. There are birds, and we were actually surprised that there were hardly any mosquitoes. There were less mosquitoes in the Amazon jungle than we have at home in New Jersey, so that was a nice surprise. we headed back up to the main area to meet up with the group because that afternoon we were going on a little guided hike with the Sons, who are in charge of running some of the activities for us.
People on the canoes, when they get stuck on the river, it makes good pressure. I mean, to set free, the canoe.
I need one of those. I get stuck sometimes. He loves you. Right. Originally meant as an insult.
It's
and
supposed
now,
to be.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those. You know, these things. Oh, we're going to try that.
What?
Kan jag alla jag vill natta.
Oh, really?
¿Qué le dice?
No digo todo.
Right in the middle. Everybody's going to talk.
Oh, okay.
So we're all getting
Oh, they make them sound out.
Dark side.
That's the best. I think so. Yeah. Like a backward spot. You can't reach. You just broke me. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, but you have to make like a...
When we got back from our hike in the jungle, there was a really nice surprise waiting for us. We were going to get to make fresh chocolate from scratch. So we started out with the dried pods, and we got to open them up and actually see what the inside of the cacao pod looks like, with the husk around each of the beans. And then we got to do the roasting process and see what it actually looked like to cook the chocolate before you grind it down. And this part smelled amazing.
I heard that there's like chocolate shortages possible and all that.
Sometimes you want to know how the sausage is. So, that's when it's chocolate.
I didn't smell anything that was smelling chocolate. It's good. Not yet either. Huh? Maybe they have to... I took it.
Once the chocolate was done roasting, we had to take the hot chocolate beans and actually peel the shell off of them. And this was to get them ready to go into the grinder so that we could actually prepare them to be mixed with the other ingredients to make them into what we know to be chocolate. The side part goes in the bowl, and then they're going to grind it. It's hot. It smells good though.
You? Oh, okay. Michael, your turn.
What's up?
Power.
Why do I have to listen? Oh, yeah.
We didn't go there. We just went to red. The red color. The market was...
Esto por aquí nos vamos vuelta al fogón.
So now back to the fire. Yeah, but we're making fun.
We're making fun. So are we adding milk and sugar to it?
That one has milk, cinnamon, and sugar.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
After we were done grinding up the chocolate, it had to go back over to the fire, and this is where they mixed in some of the other ingredients. And it was really just chocolate and a little bit of sugar and cinnamon and a little bit of cream. Then they gave us some bananas so that we could dip into the chocolate.
Wow.
You did.